To a Tunga Vailoa, Barkevius Mingo, Barkevius Mingo. Flailing Philip Rivers, Flailing Philip Rivers, Flailing Philip floats down the rivers. Welcome to another episode of Odd Man Sports, the show everyone is talking about. Even this guy, who was recently asked about it. Mr. Murray, what was your reaction when you heard Odd Man Sports is the only top shelf gambling show on YouTube that ironically, like you, cannot reach the top shelf?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Why would you know that? You're Kyler Murray, quarterback of the upstart Arizona Cardinals, and I'm Brandon Perna, the host of just too many YouTube shows, this one and That's Good Sports. And if you subscribe to that channel in the next 10 minutes, I'm gonna throw in free 2-inch lifts for your shoes so you too can feel confident making Kyler Murray is short jokes when you are clearly shorter than him. We've got dinks and dunks, named for the offense that rookie quarterbacks used to rely on before this season. Good Lord. Now they roll out of their dorm room beds into the NFL and immediately chuck the ball around the field for 400 yards every week. Unfortunately, the few yards that didn't count cost Justin Herbert another victory. The Steelers beat the Cowboys thanks to bike-riding social media superstar Juju Smith-Schuster, who finished with the team-high 93 receiving yards, 6 catches, and 2 TikTok dances. This was Juju Smith-Schuster after the game. Yes, these videos are racking up millions of views, unlike all of mine, and introducing Juju to an army of brain-dead Zoomers. But Juju, you play in blue-collar Pittsburgh, the lunch pailiest of lunch pail towns. Your team is literally named for guys who toil in the steel mills. Those guys built the tanks that defeated the Axis powers in WW2, and you're celebrating W's doing bunny hops in tight pants? And that's the only way they could get through a minefield in one piece, and now you're doing it for likes? Come on, Juju. Now, Russell Wilson picked the wrong week to trademark Let Russ Cook, throwing 2 interceptions in a loss to the Bills. Wilson copyrighted the phrase with plans to sell cooking utensils, but if I'm buying Seahawks branded utensils, it's gonna be a sieve from the Seahawks defense. Giants receiver Golden Tate was benched last Sunday due to what the team is calling selfish behavior, which is not the same as when Jameis Winston got suspended at FSU for shellfish behavior. Now this has been a whirlwind month for Tate, who a couple of weeks ago brawled with Jalen Ramsey over the DB's relationship with Tate's younger sister. Last week on Monday Night Football, Tate found a camera to demand the team throw him the damn ball, like it was a confession cam in a reality show. And during the game, his wife, Elise, took to Instagram to blast the team's play calling. Is Golden Tate actively trying to get fired like George Costanza with the Yankees? Is Dave Gettleman as dumb as a fictional George Steinbrenner? In the Jets' loss on Monday night, Joe Flacco passed Joe Montana on the all-time passing yards list. Montana still leads Flacco 1-0 in thwarted kidnappings, though, a much more impressive stat. I guess we'll never get that Coen Brothers sequel, Raising Montana. Both Joes are extremely cool, especially under pressure, and come through when it matters, and Joe Flacco did the same, throwing a crucial interception at the end of the game that kept the Jets in the lead for Trevor Lawrence. He then pointed to the stands and said, "Hey look, it's Kevin James." Which brings me, finally, to Taysom Hill. What is going on with Sean Payton's Swiss Army knife of Swiss Army knives? Every time Hill steps onto the field, my entire Twitter feed turns into mean tweets about Taysom Hill. One Tree Hill, better than Taysom Hill, and that shit stinks. I've never seen commentators suck off a mediocre player more than Taysom Hill. Well, that guy clearly never watched Tom Brady play with the sound on. Taysom Hill and Tyler Hero embody everything I hate about my race. Okay, I get that Taysom Hill is a little gimmicky. He goes against how we typically view quarterbacks. And yes, it does feel a little bit like a Little League game, and Taysom Hill is the coach's son who gets to pitch and bat cleanup. Wait, is Sean Payton secretly Taysom Hill's father? Anything can happen at a BYU bar in 1989 after a couple strong Shirley Temples. So maybe. Pull out the cash, shove it in your mouth, because it's time for Money Talks. It's my weekly reminder that just because you're an expert, that doesn't mean you know what the hell you're talking about. I mean, the experts over at the game day, now they know what they're talking about, but other so-called experts are just guessing. They're closing their eyes and throwing darts like Jimmy G in the Super Bowl. After not one person picked New Orleans over Tampa, the Saints' Twitter gave the Curb Your Enthusiasm treatment. Which is ironic because that meme is as lame as the thing you're criticizing. Like a vegan laughing at a guy who just had a heart attack. Or like a guy with a Betamax laughing at a guy with an HD DVD player. Now, Sunday Night Football didn't pick the Saints, but this bettor in Vegas did pretty good. That one's still funny. After placing a $500,000 on the Saints money line at plus 155. And the Breeze-Brady showdown netted him $775,000. Who has a $500,000 to just bet on Breeze and Brady? I want to be the man who can lose a $500,000 and not care about it. And as we wind down, it's time for our fan salute, in which I encourage one team's fan base to gather around as I give them their marching orders. I've spoken truth to the Bengals, the Patriots, the Jets, and Chargers faithful. But this week, it gives me great pleasure to address you, Bucks Nation, which sounds a lot better than Arians Nation. Everything was clicking in Tampa. Coming off of the Lightning and the Rays trips to the finals, Brady's boys seemed destined to represent the NFC in a Super Bowl set to be played in Tampa, no less. The defense was among the league's best, and Gronk's spikes were shifting tectonic plates. And Tom Brady was in the conversation for MVP, and his roommate Antonio Brown was brought in to promote team unity and open up the offense for Mike Evans. Now, Tom Brady seemed to be winning the battle versus Father Time, the only dad he would never kiss. Like his hairline, each week brought improvements. Tom's yards per attempt were up in the no risk it, no biscuit offense, and the last two men in America wearing this style hat seemed totally in sync. But on Sunday, the 43-year-old QB looked old. And like what happens to a lot of really old guys, he got knocked over by a stiff breeze. A great philosopher, and I think his name was Charles Barkley, once said, "Unlike the 2007 New England Patriots, Father Time is undefeated." And Bucks fans, you bet on the fact that Tom would be the one to break that streak. That's what we call, in the gambling business, a bad bet. And I apologize, Tampa Bay Buccaneers fans. I was supposed to uplift you there. They'll probably bounce back this week. They'll be just fine. And then they won't again. And then they'll look good for 2 weeks. And then they'll look kind of okay. And then they'll look bad. That's just the way things are going in the NFC this season. Thanks for watching The Game Day. Subscribe here on YouTube. Do it. Do it or lose it.